Hello and welcome back to Shifting Lanes. Chad here, and today we are talking about three-row mid-size SUVs. If you have a family, three-row SUVs make a ton of sense. They offer you the cargo capacity to carry all of your kids' stuff around, and in a matter of moments can be converted to carry less stuff but more humans. Granted, none of these cars have exceptional third-row legroom, but are perfect for lugging around the kids, their friends, and their stuff. Rising to the top of this is Volvo's XC90. We did a full in-depth review of the XC90, and if you want to watch that, you can click the link above. The Volvo XC90 is one of the best three-row SUVs you can buy today. It provides modern, contemporary exterior styling with one of the best interiors money can buy. You can get it in a multitude of different trim packages that start at around $50,000 with the top-of-the-range T8 Inscription all-wheel drive plug-in hybrid setting you back about $73,000. Like I said before, Volvo is at the top of the list when you discuss luxury interiors. They are simple, contemporary, modern, and truly a joy to sit in. Volvo even offers what they call a tailored wool upholstery for their interiors. This is a cloth interior. Now you may think this is a step down from the traditional leather, but we found it to be a unique take on luxury that feels more like a bespoke suit than a cheap set of blue jeans. The infotainment screen is simple and easy to use and controls almost everything in the vehicle. The design is sleek and logically laid out, but if you prefer, you can use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Due to the vertical nature of the touchscreen, this means you can display all of your Apple CarPlay/Android Auto settings while also keeping Volvo's controls on the same screen. While this may feel like a lot, Volvo manages to make it look natural and keeps up with the rest of the interior design aesthetic. The Volvo interior also features a digital dashboard, and if you opt for the advanced package, a gorgeous heads-up display, both of which continues the theme of modern design without going over the top. You have two options for overall seating. There's a 7-seat design that features a bench seat in the second row, while the 6-seat options features two excellent captain's chairs in the second row. When it comes down to driving the Volvo XC90, remember, we are talking about a big vehicle here, so sporty driving is not something it's going to do with the last word in precision. When it comes down to drivability, remember, we are talking about a big vehicle here, so sporty driving is not something it's going to do with the last word in precision. That said, the active chassis does an excellent job at handling the big girl's girth. Comfortable when you want it to, and it does sport better than you'd expect. The XC90 is by far the sportiest vehicle we're going to talk about today. Power comes in the form of a 2-liter engine, and you have many options as to how much and what type of boost you want to add to the engine. The T6 and T8 models come with a twin-charged 4-cylinder engine, and the T8 model comes with a plug-in hybrid option that bumps horsepower up to a truly astonishing 400 horsepower and 472 foot-pounds of torque. The XC90 is not without fault. The design platform is getting a little long in the tooth. The original design debuted back in 2016. While it still looks fantastic today, there's no getting around the fact that it has been around the block more than a few times. Secondly, this is one of the more expensive options you'll find on this list. While it does start at $50,000 with a bunch of options, you're topping out over $73,000. And lastly, while the tailored wool offers a very unique way on what modern luxury should be, I'm not so sure about it in a couple of different areas. Number one, I'm not so sure how well it'll wear, let alone age. And secondly, I'm not sure how well it'll handle stains. Remember, this is a family vehicle we're talking about here with kids who really have no regard for how clean your car is going to end up being, and this cloth interior might not do the best job at hiding those stains, or at least not as well as leather does. Overall, the XC90 is a phenomenal vehicle. It does everything you'd want a three-row SUV to do, and it does so with a beautiful, simplistic take on design and one of the best interiors on the market. But it is far from the last option, so why don't we dive into 3 competitors that it has to go up against. Number 1 is the Hyundai Palisade. If it is value for money you seek, then the brand new Hyundai Palisade is for you. The Palisade we tested was extremely well equipped, and it only set you back $47,000. Starting with the interior, when you look inside the Palisade, you'll see a modern, elegant, sleek design wrapped in fantastic leather. You get a 12.3-inch touchscreen display with great resolution and a rich graphics set. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are available options should you prefer a more familiar interface. The digital dash is the Palisade's party piece. It is absolutely gorgeous without being too much. It offers all the info you could ever want and even displays the blind spot camera in a simple, elegant, fantastic way. All told, the interior room is excellent, especially if you opt for the second row captain's chairs. The exterior provides a very distinctive appearance. It is classy and elegant, yet it won't get lost in the shuffle with all the other vehicles in its class. The headlights are frankly excellent. We found ourselves being slightly worried that even on low beam, the lights might be blinding to oncoming traffic. Ultimately, they weren't obtrusive to other motorists and provided a truly fantastic view of the road at night. Power comes from a 3.8-liter V6 engine that produces 291 horsepower and gets a combined 22 miles per gallon. Even though the Palisade features various driving modes, we found it best to simply keep her in the comfort setting. Yes, she will do a bit of sport, but you are constantly reminded of how big this vehicle is. While the Palisade is phenomenal value for money, it is not without fault. Those brilliantly bright headlights aren't the most elegant design, combined with a large grille surrounded by a bunch of faux chrome, and the front end isn't the most handsome looking in its class. It is by no means ugly, but it doesn't look as refined as some of the others. That being said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so consumers may like the unique appearance more than we do. While the interior on the surface looks amazing, it is a truly fantastic place to sit in. If you dig a little bit deeper, the plastics do feel a bit cheap. They do look great and get the job done. Once you touch them, it does reveal that this is in fact a Hyundai and not their luxury cousin Genesis. Next up, we have the Volkswagen Atlas. If you seek a German, no-frills approach to design with an abundance of interior room, then the Volkswagen Atlas is for you. The Atlas may be mid-size, but it feels much bigger than that. The interior feels like a full-size while maintaining the mid-size exterior footprint. Passenger and cargo room is the best out of any vehicle we'll talk about, so if you want to move the most amount of people and their stuff, they're most likely to be most comfortable in the Atlas. The Atlas starts at a very reasonable $42,000, but once you start adding options, the price climbs above $50,000. The interior as a whole does have an air of quality to it, even if it isn't the most luxurious. The seats are fake leather, the infotainment feels dated, and in SE trim, the gauges are analog. You can rectify this by going with the SEL trim, which features a digital dash and would be our preference. Overall, it is a very nice place to sit, but it comes nowhere near the similarly priced Palisades in terms of making you feel like you are in a luxury vehicle. What is the Atlas like to drive? Well, in base SE trim, the engine is a 2-liter turbocharged engine that only chucks out 258 horsepower. This is considerably less than any other vehicle on this list, and more importantly, you can feel it when you're driving. It is by no means slow, but nor is it quick either. In addition, the 4-cylinder turbo may get respectable fuel economy, but that does require premium gas. For our money, we would opt for the $1,200 3.6-liter V6 that bumps power up to 276 horsepower, which improves things, but is still down on power compared to its rivals. While economy takes a slight hit, it does so on regular fuel, which means your annual fuel costs versus the 2-liter are likely to be very similar. The Atlas does many things well. Like I said, it has an extremely spacious interior. However, that interior is less upscale feeling than the competition. The standard engine feels a bit puny and drinks only premium gas, and overall, it has a dated feel, even if the exterior is very handsome. Lastly, we come to what might be considered the oddball of the group, the Lexus GX460. The GX460 sits on a nearly 10-year-old platform, and even though they have facelifted it over the years to give it a more modern exterior, everything else with the vehicle feels distinctly less modern. You can look at the GX460 from two sides. On the one side, you see an old, outdated vehicle that starts at $53,000 and tops out above $70,000. That is a significant amount of money to drop on what Lexus calls a new vehicle that doesn't feel new. To be honest, it feels more like a nicely equipped pre-owned vehicle than the latest offering from one of the world's largest auto manufacturers. On the other hand, that old design is tried and true. Pretty much every issue the GX460 could have had has been sorted by now, so it may not be the last word in modern design and feel, but it will be supremely reliable and last you a very long time. The dated design really comes through in the interior. The infotainment is old with dated features and feels more fancy Toyota than right now from Lexus. All that being said, this is still a Lexus. It may be an old Lexus, but it has that DNA, and this comes through in the fantastic leather upholstery. It is supple and profoundly comfortable. The GX460 is powered from an old-school 4.6-liter V8, checking out 301 horsepower and 329 foot-pounds of torque. This is not a modern or game-changer of an engine like it is in the Volvo, but it works and it does an adequate job of moving the GX460's immense girth. Since this is a body-on-frame design, think more truck than modern SUV, the GX weighs in at a girthy 5,200 pounds. The engine could provide a little bit more power given its size and a lot more economy. Get ready for MPG numbers in the teens. That is far from a great number, especially when you compare it to other vehicles in its class. All of that being said, the GX460 sets itself apart in one area. Because of the old school body-on-frame design, it is a fantastic off-roader with excellent ground clearance. The GX is not all-wheel drive, rather four-wheel drive. While these seem similar, they are very much not the same. In off-road situations, heavy snow situations, etc., four-wheel drive is superior. The transfer case in a four-wheel drive vehicle is a torque multiplier, which means grip in less than ideal situations is phenomenal. If you want a more detailed description of four-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive, click the link above where Hansen goes into it in much greater detail. The GX460 is not for anyone. If you seek the last word in luxury, get the XC90. If you desire the last word in passenger/cargo space, get the Atlas. If you are looking for fantastic value for money, get the Palisade. If you are an active person who spends a lot of their time in the great outdoors and you want your off-roader to have a splash of luxury and don't want to spend a small fortune on a Land Rover, the GX460 is for you. All of that being said, which one of these three-row mid-size SUVs would we have? The off-road capability of the GX460 is hugely appealing. However, I don't really do that much off-roading, and if I wanted a vehicle to do that, the GX460's brother, the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro, does all the same things for significantly less money. The Atlas is a bit too basic for my liking. I want a luxury car to make me feel a bit special, and the Atlas is too serious, too simple, too German, if you will, for me. The XC90 is hugely appealing, and you can price one out to pretty much meet your needs. However, there's no getting around the fact that it's still an expensive vehicle. Plus, the engine might be a masterclass in modern engineering, but a small displacement, turbo, supercharged, hybrid engine is a fairly complicated affair, and complicated usually means more expensive to maintain. Where does that leave us? That leaves it with my Palisade. It may have some, quote, value plastics, it may have a grille that I'm not so sure about, but frankly it does everything else so well that it cannot be ignored. It does everything you want a luxury SUV to do, and it does so at a bargain. That is why it is our choice for luxury midsize three-row SUV. And that's pretty much it. If you liked the video and found it informative, helpful, please do us a favor and drop us a like. If you want to find your way back, consider subscribing if you haven't already with notifications on. That way you get the latest in Shifting Lanes content, consumer advice as we release it. If you want to find us on social media, it's at Shifting Lanes. I personally am at Kennedy83. Once again, thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you next time.